Hey, welcome back to another Ping Pong Flicks Tidbit. My name is Chris Wong. This is actually almost like a continuation from the last video in regards to Green Lantern ships. This is a comment that I got on Vero from a fan named One Step Too Far. He said this: Chris, in the trailer he says, no Kryptonian, no lanterns. The lantern helped drive back Uxas back from Earth the first time. This time Darkseid wasn't going to risk that. The Knightmare future isn't a dead Superman and no Green Lantern. They're both on his side. The Green Lantern ship is escorting parademons and housing a makeshift prison, which I said, oh, that's crazy, and that actually makes sense. So let's talk about this, because I don't think I really actually did a video that talked about a little bit about what Zack Snyder intended for the Knightmare scene, in which he talked about Darkseid, the anti-life equation, and actually Superman succumbing to that anti-life equation so that we get that evil Superman you see in Batman v Superman, the Knightmare Sequence. But this fan adds a little bit extra. What if Green Lantern, the whole Green Lantern Corps, also succumbed to the anti-life equation in a way that they get controlled and they're actually working for Darkseid? I want to read you this. This is from a little bit of information from the Director's Cut event, the SnyderCon, as we call it. This is what Zack Snyder had said. The truth is that the Knightmare Sequence in this movie, it was my idea that all of that would eventually be explained. Is that a surprise? And that we would end up in the distant future where Darkseid has taken over Earth and where Superman has succumbed to the anti-life equation. And there were a few members of the Justice League that survived to that world. And that they were fighting Batman and a broken half of Cyborg. There's only half of him because of whatever happened. They were working on an equation to jump back to tell Bruce. Those were the things that we were dealing with, and the studio. They were still sort of into the big look, but the deep depth about how and why everyone was mad at each other. Because Lois, and it's in the Justice League teaser, it was in the movie apparently, it's this line where Bruce says, I was right here, and Barry Allen came to me and he said, Lois Lane is the key. And then Wonder Woman goes, she is to Superman, every heart has one. And he goes, I think it's something more, something darker. And what it means is that that thing that was darker was all about if Lois died, Superman would succumb to the anti-life, right? And Superman knew that somehow it was Bruce's responsibility to protect Lois. He would have been mad at him in this movie, and that's why he says, she was my world, and you took her from me. Snyder went on with a lengthy explanation about how Justice League Saga would have made 2 time jump possibilities or for fixing the past, and we could probably get into that. But basically this, the anti-life equation was supposed to have affected Superman in that Knightmare Sequence in the Knightmare future. And quite possibly, and I think this actually makes very much sense, like I said, that it would have turned the Green Lantern Corps into, I guess you can say, an evil Green Lantern Corps. But in terms of the lore of the comics, would that actually work, seeing that their rings are there in order to fight evil? But there could have been an aspect in which in the New 52 they actually brought up another type of equation, and that's the life equation, which is the opposite of the anti-life equation when Kyle Rayner has the white ring. Would that have actually played into that? That means Zack Snyder really delved into the comics in trying to get something for all the DCEU fans, DC Comics fans to actually say, yes, this makes sense. But it just took time. It took time from Batman v Superman through Justice League all the way to Justice League possibly Part 3 in order to make this all work and make all this make sense. But what do you think? Do you think that this would have been a great plan, trying to see that the Green Lantern Corps actually turns evil and works for Darkseid in taking over the Earth? Or do you think it should have been a little bit different? Tell me your thoughts down below and let me know. And thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.